Well, hello there. We're back. That was fun. We talked for a long time, and thank you, Louise, for sending me a tweet that I saw, and you were like, "Hey, the stream died," because we were just going.
Let me just make sure.
We were just
had
going.
No idea.
We'll wait for people to kind of come back in. We paused the audio version, so they're not hearing any of this, so we can wait and make sure things are up and running, and that all is good. Can be back over here, even on the Sony Handycam.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Yeah. So what happened actually?
So Tom
Messed
is
everything up.
not used to selecting Restream as our source to stream to, as our destination.
Yes.
And I think what happened was because since I scheduled the stream in advance in Restream, but we didn't actually stream via Restream,
I just selected
to
YouTube.
YouTube. Restream 15 minutes after the scheduled time was like, oh, no one's streaming.
And they just
And
deleted
they just
it.
probably, that's what I think.
Because it was
happened.
exactly 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what the last thing you
I
guys
have no
heard
idea.
was.
I was on. I just was going, yo. I had no idea I was talking to nobody.
Well, it was recorded for the audio version, and they're paused right now, so the audio listeners can't hear this. But yeah, so once we kind of remember where we
we were
picked
just
up,
going.
we'll bring the audio version back in, and everything will be
Yeah,
good.
so let's just hang out while people.
Yeah, if you
Here, go back to.
if you were here when it cut out,
Oops, that's the wrong one. We don't. Where's the handicam?
it's 5.
Oh.
We got a lot of inputs. If you were here when the stream cut out, just let us know what the last thing you remember us talking about
we
was.
stop talking about?
Yeah, that's what we will.
It cut
Oh,
off.
Rob, just while you're here, thank you. Look at this. Look at this.
Well, let's put the nice camera on for that one.
Oh, wait. It's not gonna. You gotta cover your eyes, I guess.
There it
There it is.
is.
Look at that. Look
at
watch how
that.
smooth the focus shifts back. Oh, it's so good. It's like a person is turning that focus
He's
wheel.
really into his new.
Love it.
camera.
Love it. Love it. Love it. It wasn't my fault. Everyone's blaming me now. It was.
Babe, there's Restream. It's here for a reason.
I
I should have
don't-
told you though.
yeah, I
should have told you.
I have never
This is
used
a recent
Restream
upgrade.
in my
I know.
life, so
This-
I don't
and-
know anything about
And
this.
this is my idea to multi-stream to Facebook. He doesn't even care about Facebook. So this
Yeah.
is my bad. That
So
was
if
my
you've
bad.
sent me a message on Facebook and I haven't responded, I am
He
sorry.
hates Facebook. Yeah.
I do like.
So
the
anyway.
only thing I like is Facebook groups because they're really handy, but it's like you got to plow through Facebook to get there. But Facebook groups are like the closest thing to old school internet message boards, which was like my favorite part of the internet from way back when. So anyway,
So we're here.
so we don't know where it cut off
Yeah.
for everybody, but we can bring in the audio folks, I guess, right?
Yeah, let's bring in the audio. folks.
Okay, so
okay, here we go.
If this sounds weird to you, I apologize. And now we're back with audio and video. If you're listening to the audio version, we're not 100% sure where the overlap was, and God forbid we edit this thing, so if there's some repetition, I apologize. But it just means the point was so nice we had to make it twice.
So here's what we're talking about. It's probably better that we just
Maybe it's
Start
like
it
that was the
over. Yeah.
rehearsal, and now here's the show.
So basically, since Tom and I are now both full-time content creators and business partners, it's been interesting to juggle new ideas. I have ADHD. I'm super impulsive. Every new idea that comes to me, every new idea that I'm inspired by, or, whatever like new idea I come up with, everything seems important. I always want to drop everything and work on that idea. But there are, over the past 5 years of me doing this solo, I have learned that there are some ideas that kind of just fall by the wayside for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are ideas that push through regardless of how busy I am. And, despite everything else, they push through. So I don't think I've really figured out why that is. And I save all of my old to-do lists so that I could look back and be like, haha, remember when that was important? Just because I feel like it gives me, time to revisit and also reflect on like, okay, I understand why this thing was super important at that time. Mm-hmm. Is it still important? Is it still relevant? How can we build it in? All of that. But now that we're doing this together, there are a lot of ideas because we're both naturally, creative people. And we are kind of going through this new growing phase of, is an idea just a creative pursuit? Is it just something that's like, this is just for funsies? Or is this like something that we can actually build into our business and turn it into an income source, like a product or a service or something like that?
I'm trying to think, I'm kind of wondering if how I compare to you in regards to like this idea thing. And you'll have to sort of tell me, because I get what you're saying when there's a new idea and you suddenly think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And for me, there's stuff like this past week, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. It was actually when you did your big, movie premiere on your channel. And like everyone was like, oh, do buy me a coffee, not Patreon and stuff. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm not going to do that. And then I kind of learned a little bit more about it. And you were like, buy me a coffee is so easy because if people want to contribute to you, they can just send you something and they don't have to create an account. There's not a whole thing. It's not a recurring thing. It's just like, boom, here you go. And I was like, oh, maybe I should start one. And then I kind of like poked around and started one. And then got it in my head of like, I need to make sure that link is everywhere it needs to go. And I need to redo every podcast description and every video description.
Yeah.
And that has to get done like right now because, oh my gosh, like people are, busting down the doors to buy these coffees, which is not the case.
Yeah.
So I think I understand how you feel when you get a new idea, but I feel like when it comes to actual projects and work stuff, am I the opposite to you? Because I almost feel like I have my way of doing things and it's like I'm almost averse to anything else coming in there, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Wait, what was the question?
How similar am I to you when it comes to, letting new ideas shift things versus... I feel like we're sort of on other ends of the spectrum with that. But I could be wrong.
No, I think I'm pretty similar.
You think we're similar?
Well, how do you think we're different, Tom?
Because I don't want new things to come in and
I love ideas.
Yeah, no, yeah. I like new ideas, but I
he's
don't.
very rigid and he has a way. Well, this is why we incorporate something new and you're still doing the old thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can adapt, but I didn't know. I didn't know.
Just kidding, babe. I think one of the benefits of working for yourself and being self-employed is that you can be so flexible. So like literally you can change things on the fly. And I love that. I love the freedom to be able to do that. But I also have recognized, okay, so here's an example. I just made a new website, a new webpage on my website that lists all the tools that I use to run my YouTube channel.
That's a cool idea.
Hardware and software. You can check it out at heatherjustcreate.com/tools.
You should seriously check it out, especially for anyone who does any kind of affiliate stuff. If you want to know what Heather uses, check it out. But I'm 100% stealing this idea. It's really good. Definitely took a lot of time though.
It took 2 days.
I feel like it would. Yeah, that's a lot of time.
I could have done it in a day, but I spread it out over 2 days. Yeah. Now I'm paranoid if it drops. Okay. So I made this webpage, and the reason why I did was because people ask me all the time, what do you use? And, especially with clients, I wanted everything to be in one place. And I still work with some people that aren't used to checking the video descriptions and figuring that whole world out. So I just wanted on my website there to be a list of all the stuff that I use. Yeah. The impulse is to be like, oh my gosh, now I got to go back through hundreds of YouTube videos to update my video description so that everything is pointing to this new thing. And I think I've just learned the hard way that I can calculate how many hours that's going to take me and what the payoff is. And it's just not that much of a payoff.
Right.
And I just feel like moving forward, I can make that change. And, I think it's just not worth the time.
Right.
It's just not worth the time.
Right. But I agree.
With you, it's different because you have 65,000 people who are, you have tens of thousands of people who are on your YouTube channel at any given moment. And so I think it's different because it would be different if I was working with that kind of volume, but I'm not.
Well, that's why when I have a new idea to kind of test it out, like the buy me a coffee thing, for example, I was like, okay, I want to put this in the videos and then leave it for a week or two and just see, does anybody use it? Does nobody use it? And that's going to tell me focus on it, don't focus on it, that kind of a thing. And it's, I need it to be out to get that information. But you also have more videos than I have. So,
I have so many.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot, but it's very different to go through 240 videos versus, 500 videos or something.
That's just on one channel.
Yeah. We should check in with everybody to make sure things are still up and running. Ron said he hates Facebook too, but regularly has to stream to multiple Facebook pages, so Restream it is. Restream seems quite the key there. And Jessica's favorite Facebook group is Secondhand Finds. Peter's here. Interesting crash. It didn't stop streaming. It said, yeah, it had been removed by the poster. That's what we saw too after Luis sent us my watch buzzed, and I was like, for some reason I try not to check it, but I just felt like I needed to check that one. I'm glad I did. Murray's here. Saw the new video, love it, but it's $600. You have a cheaper alternative. I don't. This is the only wireless transmitter I've ever used, and in that world, I don't know that I would trust a cheaper alternative, because it's like you save money, but you pay with frustration when it comes to that stuff. Peter, did I marry the girl? Would you marry me and celebrate our anniversary next week?
Yeah, so we didn't say this yet, but our anniversary is on Tuesday, May 18th. Be our first year anniversary of being married.
Yeah.
1 year wedding anniversary. Which
is crazy, because May 18th last year is also the day that we came up with the idea for this show.
Oh, yeah.
It was during our reception when we were at the couples table, the whole thing there.
Yeah, it was right after we had gotten married. We did another live stream.
I think Peter's giving us a hint, because he said, retell about the mic. That part is gone. So that must be about where we cut off. So you caught us up to date. Peter, I do have something I need to ask you. So I'll ask you this, and then we'll continue. For the Sony a7 III, I know you can power it through USB. Please tell me how you do that, because I was doing it and it was working, and then I read people online saying like they fried their camera and they broke their camera, and so I stopped doing it because the battery life definitely nowhere near what the Canons were. I get like 4 hours on these, this maybe 90 minutes on the battery. So if you could let me know how to do the USB thing, that'd be awesome. The mic thing, if you weren't able to hear that part, the base of this mic, I had been searching because these super cool mics.
Here, give me that.
Oh, these super cool mics have been around, this style of mic for 80 years or something. But the base of the microphone, which Heather's getting a nice close-up of right now, they don't make these anymore. But back in the day, this is how they had these, and they're really, really cool. And I couldn't find them, and I had posted a thing on Twitter asking like, hey, does anybody know where I could get the base for one of these microphones? And I even asked Shure responded right away and gave me a telephone number. I called the number. I had a guy on the phone in like 2 minutes, literally like searching a database for parts. And he was like, we do not make those anymore. They don't exist. I could only find like $1,800 limited edition things. And finally on Twitter, the magic of social media, someone was like, Tom, search S36 stand on eBay. And I did. It was still like $100, but it's an actual Shure stand from the 1950s, made in Illinois. It says Shure Brothers on the bottom, and it's crazy because the fitting isn't perfect, but the current mics still fit the old stand, and it's pretty neat. Here, I'll mute this and then talk into Heather's mic. But on the bottom, it has like a pin that goes into the mic, and then the USB or the XLR cable goes, and then it has a little output on the back, so that way it lays flat. It's so cool. I know it's annoying to have the mic on the table because of table noise and stuff, but just for today's stream, like I love this so much. So
happy.
I would love to get another one, so that way the other one I have, we could like be old timey.
Aged things makes Tom happy.
It's what's weird though is like, okay, if we moved into an old house, there's an age thing. If we moved into like, a slightly older house, or you bought like a 15-year-old used car, I would kind of be like, ugh, like this is.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like.
But this thing,
traces of other.
Yeah,
people.
But this thing from like the 1950s, I'm like, I wonder where this has been. Was this just in a closet? Was this in a studio somewhere? Was this in somebody's office? Like where?
He wants to know the history.
What is the history of this thing right here? Like what has it seen? What has it done? I'm like fascinated by it. But I'll never know.
He's always been like that as long as I've known him.
Yeah. Anyway, I could have been a history teacher.
All right. Happy anniversary. So Tom and I actually have plans. We're very excited. We are going to the place we got engaged. Does anybody know where that is?
The middle of the desert. We're going to stay in the middle of the desert. No, well, actually kind of, but
yeah.
We're going to revisit like the actual proposal spot, but then we're going to go, which is our first trip of any kind in a year and a half.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Las Vegas.
and we're going to try to stream with
the YOLO box.
With the YOLO box.
So, hey, I know YOLO has been bugging me to do an update video.
So we'll stream on this channel, and hopefully somewhere on the Vegas Strip.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Sometime next week. I don't know what time or what thing, so just keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out.
That'll be pretty fun.
Yeah. And then on the next episode of the Couples Table, next Thursday, we'll celebrate our anniversary.
Yeah, we have some cool stuff we want to look at and watch and everything.
Yeah.
We'll schedule that one in advance, too, so that way you can be here. It'll be kind of fun.
Yeah. All right, cool. So
cool. Oh, I did want to say, though, Rob said he used to date a Shure exec's daughter.
How crazy.
Sure you did. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Ron said, do you have a Game Boy camera? That's the 2000 Sony Handycam TRV-37.
Okay. Here, Leo, do you use Canon lenses on your Sony camera?
Yes. Both. This lens right now is the Sony 24 1.4 G Master, so it's like they're, it's a very good lens. But everything else I have are Canon, and I use the Sigma MC11 adapter, which Canon lenses will do autofocus for photos, manual focus for videos, and Sigma lenses will do autofocus for photo and video. So it's kind of a cool middle ground of like, hey, I don't have a ton of lenses, but at least I didn't need to buy all new ones. Ron said he cannot imagine Tom in Vegas. Yeah, me either. Because I absolutely, you want to know what place I hated prior to meeting Heather? Vegas.
You know what place I loved?
Yeah.
We're very different people before we met each other.
But turns out, the reason is like we were like, oh, we could go do a little local staycation at the place we were gonna get married.
We were going to
stay at
the venue that we were gonna get married at.
Yeah, which is
here,
relatively
in Palm
local.
Springs. Yeah. $700 a night, guys.
Yeah, we have done a staycation there in the past, and it was like $113 or
I don't think it was that cheap. I think it was like $2 something, but $700.
It was very
700
inexpensive.
is like totally insane for being this close. It's like might as well fly to Hawaii.
Yeah,
yeah, it's insane.
And so that's where you can go to Vegas and book a room at like a nice hotel for
$120 a night.
Yeah, so it's like
for the same price.
Literally the gas to get there, the whole 2 nights
trip
in a hotel, food and everything is still going to be equal to or less than one hotel fee. So that's why we're like, we'll just do that. And the thing about Vegas is I don't really drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble, so I don't go to clubs. But Vegas is inexpensive, there's a lot to see and do, and there's tons of restaurants and good stuff to eat, and that's my favorite part of it.
We're foodies.
I'm so excited for like, there's very specific spots for like really good cookies, really good Mexican food, really good desserts, just really good food, and it's a great food place. So I'm excited, and both our vaccines have fully kicked in at this point.
Yeah,
and it seems like they're taking safety precautions, so we're gonna kind of play it by ear and see how we feel in terms of.
Yeah, but like stuff. We were totally not going to do anything. But here's the thing: Tom and I cannot stop talking about YouTube.
Yeah,
we just can't stop talking about it. Literally, even on this upcoming trip, I'm like, we got to do a vlog.
I know that's been the debate. Is like, bring cameras, don't bring cameras.
Like, oh my god. Okay, so now I got these like documentary skills that I got from making a living on YouTube. Yeah, I was like, okay, we're gonna fly the drone over the desert.
This sweet new camera.
We're gonna get the car footage. We're gonna do the voiceovers, and I have a whole timeline production in my head. But I'm like, okay.
Right.
This is why we need to get away, because I feel like we need.
Well, even if we're home, which like I love being home and we got our dogs and everything's nice, it's like we can close the doors to our offices, but it's still like
I
on the
can't
mind.
Stop thinking about it.
And I'm still gonna want to like, oh, I just need to change one thing. I can just pop in real quick and type something up. And
literally,
it's like...
the book I'm reading right now for leisure is called The Passion Economy. So it just never stops.
And then just also when you're at home, as nice as it is, you're like, oh, I'll take the day off. Well, I should do laundry and clean this and blah blah. So it's like, okay, you kind of do sometimes need to just fully get away, so that way you can't do any of those things. And I haven't done that since leaving my job yet. And now like videos are scheduled, course is finished, all that stuff is done. So like there's time to actually take a break now.
Yeah, because Tom hasn't
done that.
He hasn't had a break
2 months.
since
I haven't done it.
Yeah, so I mean, it won't be a long one. We're only gonna be gone for 2 nights.
That's fine. We don't want to be away from our dogs longer than that.
I know.
As silly
Can
as that
I
might
interest
sound.
you to a trip in Orlando?
I've never been to Florida, but yeah, and Peter's in Florida, and Luis is in Florida.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! When we go to Florida, I don't know when it's gonna be, but we totally got to meet up. We would love to go. I think we danced with the idea. Yeah.
That was a potential honeymoon thing.
Yeah,
going to
but
Disney.
I really wanted to go to Japan.
Yeah, and then that became it, and then the world shut down, and we've been home ever since.
Let's see. That being said, I can't even imagine Tom going to Coachella, and I think they have that across the road from your house or something.
It's like less than 3 miles from us. Yeah. And I've never been. And the Aquabats have played Coachella, and I've never been.
But we did go during the day, because I don't know if you know this, but Tom is on the Arts Commission of the City of Indio.
I'm chair.
He's the chair of our local public arts commission. How adorable is that? And basically, like the Coachella Valley Music Festival, they have a lot of art installations. So they invited the public arts commissioners to go check it out.
Which feels like forever ago, but that was actually the most recent Coachella. It was 2019.
Yeah.
So it was cool. We got to see all the art exhibits.
Well, it's not a vlog.
There is a video about it. And then it's cool because the city, like we purchased one of the things, which is really cool. So that'll eventually get installed as like a piece of public art in our city and stuff.
Can't wait for the Tom and Heather do Vegas video. There is a Tom and Heather do Vegas.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
That's why Vegas,
because that was also, I guess that's where Vegas fits into our story.
It's a very significant part of our story.
Right, because that's also where we
went from friends to more than friends.
But Adobe Max, let me tell you, Adobe Max conference, oh boy.
2018. 2017.
Because I was going for work and Heather had been invited by Adobe and we're like, we could both go to the Adobe conference. So there's videos from October of 2017 on both our channels all about that.
What are you? I would love to meet up. See,
okay. Like there's so many Florida people, Floridians.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking about this earlier today. I don't really know why, but I was like, I feel like we've met so many friends over the past year and a half, and I would love to meet up with everybody. I know we're all, literally across the globe, but you know what? You're going to grow your channel to 1 million. You do the creator economy
we said last week that's not even possible, so...
Then we'll just, globe hop around the world and meet up with
why not?
We'll meet up with all of you guys.
Yeah. Just go wherever your local small private airport is. Just go there and... We'll be there.
All right, so ideas.
Yeah, talking about ideas.
So let's bring it back to what we were supposed to talk about today.
What's the big idea?
Which is, okay, so there are so many ways that you can monetize your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that you can monetize as a content creator. And I think the thing that we've been struggling with as, new full-time content creator business partners is like, what's an idea that we actually flush out and makes it onto the, commitment schedule? Yeah. And then what is just something that ends up being...
I got to say, you've been very good about, you're extra aware of my schedule, not just like what do you have.
Yeah, because you know why. Okay, you guys have seen what Tom is like when someone puts something on his calendar.
Yeah,
he gets real mad about it.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
So, but you've been, and I
don't ever want to be the source of that anxiety.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a certain balance where it's like, hey, here's something you could do that has a significant paycheck and takes relatively little hours. I know you hate having stuff on your calendar, but this might be a thing that's worthwhile doing versus like, here's something that, now every so often for the foreseeable future, you have to block out this time because I really do hate that. And so I need, like, when it's something like this, I don't mind. Like, it's like Thursdays, Couples Table fits in. We decided, we picked the time that works. Like, that's on my terms. But when it's other things where it's like, oh, now you have this 8 a.m. thing or whatever, and it's not something I chose to do, and it's not something I'm super excited about. It's just like, I do it to myself half the time.
The cool thing, like, especially with me discovering this whole passion economy thing, I think that the cool thing about building a brand around the content that you create is that you do have a freedom and flexibility of like, yeah, sure, here's one way, even if it's a lucrative way to make money, but there's so many other, like, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to.
Well, it's also, I'm sort of like struggling to come up with ideas for this week's podcast of my podcast. But one of the things I was thinking about going into was the idea of there's no wrong way, because I was thinking about this yesterday on my morning bike ride, because that's a thing I can take regularly now. I was thinking about you and I and how our big picture goals align, like are very much in sync and in line and all that kind of stuff. But on the day to day, on just the things we like and dislike, there's a lot of difference. And I was thinking that that's so interesting because we've talked about this here before, where you can kind of feel like if I'm in here doing things my way and I pop in your room, I can see you doing something differently, but I can also potentially feel like I'm doing things wrong if I'm not doing things that way. But remembering that, like, there is no one way, and even like something that's working for you might not work for me if I were to do it that way. So that's so fascinating to me that there are so many, there are so many different ways, like even just revenue and stuff. I've talked about like, oh yeah, there's like 13, 14 revenue streams. And, I think the most common thing when people talk about making money on YouTube is like, oh, no AdSense, no AdSense, no AdSense, which is true, except we have one friend who 80 to 90% of their income comes from AdSense, and the amount of money that they get from AdSense on a like moderately sized channel is kind of absurd. And it just happens because of the niche that they're in, because of the, the demographic, which changes the rates and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, for someone like that, then it's like, well, AdSense is a very like viable source of revenue. Whereas for other people, it's like, oh, it's nothing. And, that's what can be so tricky about.
What is that?
I guess.
I don't have channel memberships. So these are your channel memberships.
These widgets, I'll just turn these off. I guess I got some new members on my YouTube channel. Oh. But the widgets are turned on for my streams.
Well, just leave it on then. That'd be kind
of
funny.
Well, no. So, yeah, I think one was Aubrey. So,
yeah. Thanks Aubrey. If you guys join as a member on Tom's YouTube stream or YouTube channel, it'll pop up here.
Yeah, why not? There you go. But there you go. Speaking of revenue sources.
Yeah.
Channel memberships. Oh, and speaking of ideas. I don't know if this is related or not, but I'm going to go into it. I figured out for me where channel memberships fit. And it's really exciting because I've been kind of debating like, well, there's Patreon, there's memberships. They're kind of the same, but they're kind of different.
Yeah. Can I add something right before you go into 100%. That? So you have told me set up channel memberships. Just set it up now, submit it for approval. And I've decided I don't want to.
Oh, great. I mean, if you don't, why don't you want to?
Because what I don't want to do, because I've had a Patreon before, and what ended up happening was I felt like I trapped myself into, here's the difference between Tom and I. He doesn't mind creating more content. That's what he likes to do, is create videos. For me, I love creating videos too, but I think in a different way than Tom does. You don't mind setting up a subscription where people pay for more exclusive content. For me on my Patreon, I hated the fact that I was like restricting, I felt like I was doubling my work for the members. It wasn't natural. It just felt like I started repeating myself because I would say it to my main audience and then I would say it in Patreon videos. And it was like, well, what's the difference anyway? And it was just really hard for me to find the line. On the other hand, I love working one-on-one with people. Like I love that. I mean, it's the whole reason why I started this in the first place. I get so much fulfillment out of working one-on-one with people and being a coach and, helping people achieve their goals. He would definitely rather be making content than working one-on-one with somebody. That's just like, we just have different preferences.
Yeah. And if you're someone who's been a client, like 100% of the time they've been good. He
comes out of his room just like, that was so much fun.
It literally has nothing to do with the time I'm on the call with the person. What it has to do is with the things I can't do because I'm on the call with that. And because it takes time to set up and it takes time to follow up or tear down. It just
feels like you have an anxiety that I just don't have.
I have an anxiety. Someone is paid. They
I'm
need
excited.
Something.
I'm like, yeah, I've got
It's always great,
today.
but... I love it when I can just do my day on my terms.
Yeah.
I'm never happier than that. But for me, channel memberships. So
channel memberships. Let's go.
You talked about like what I did specifically when I set Patreon and memberships up was I didn't want to do the thing of like every week you're going to get this and every second Monday.
That, you guys.
No. I can't.
Oh my God.
I mean, I know there are people out there who are wildly successful.
Just go get a job.
But I mean,
it's just easier.
There's a lot of podcasts I follow where their Patreon, that's how they do it. They have a free feed and a paid feed, and this goes here and that goes here, and they're making quite good livings off of it. But
see, you got to have that audience size.
For me, what I decided to do was just say like, here's the different tiers. be super clear that like the low end one is literally just considered a tip jar. So it's just the person who wants to show support and doesn't care if they get anything. And the other ones, it's just kind of like, yeah, you get some stuff sometimes. So it's like, sometimes I will find myself with extra videos. Like the other day I was filming a video and there was a part in it I wanted to include. It was my desk tour video. I wanted to include a part about all the stickers that are all over my desk, which, by the way, Rob, your sticker will be there soon. And I was like, this is not going to fit in. No one who's wanting to see like what gear I use on my desk is going to want to hear 4 minutes of me talking about stickers. So I made that a membership thing because I was like, this is cool, and those people might care about it. Or when I was trying to decide between cameras, I did a members only live stream, so that way it was like kind of smaller, more intimate. A lot of you guys were there. And we just sort of talked about like, well, these are the options, this is why, what's some good strategies. So for me, which you don't need this because you already have this need filled, I am not someone who's interested in starting a second YouTube channel, but my channel memberships fill the void of why I would want to start a second channel, because it's like the more personal stuff, it's the imperfect stuff, it's the stuff where it's the views don't matter, like it's just sort of extra things, like and it kind of gets that, it scratches that itch for me in a really cool way.
Yeah.
And when I started looking at it like, oh, it's like a built-in second channel, but I feel so much more confident because everyone's opted in if they're interested.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to like grow an audience and what is this channel, who's that? But it's like, oh, these people clearly want to support. They could ignore all the extra content if they want. Or if they want to see something, hey, I'll do a video version of a podcast. I'll share some test footage from the Blackmagic camera I rented. I'll talk about stickers, whatever, just. And I've been, without having to really try, posting typically 1 to 2 things a week.
So go sign up for Tom's
No,
membership.
It's not. You don't have to do that. But the little thing will pop up right here. If you want to do
that was cool. Tom, have you considered mentioning on your main channel the more personal live stream you have here on this channel? Like something to say if you want to ask questions live or want to hang out.
I mention like we do a live stream, but I never like tell the day and the time. I mention this podcast all the time, but I think I'm just bad at that. But anyway, I should.
I don't know if it's the same. You're so gear. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of crossover.
We welcome all people.
Yeah, everybody's welcome everywhere.
I doubt you guys will be able to fly to Australia to see a few people. You know what? We're going to get there.
You know who's based in Australia?
Who's based?
Road.
Oh, hey, what's up,
You know whose
Road?
factory I want to visit?
Yo, Road. Oh, we could totally make that happen.
The Road to Road.
Road. It's a series. It's a whole thing. My ideas. The ideas are happening. Oh my gosh.
This series.
Oh my gosh.
Sponsored by Shure.
We should do it. It's sponsored by Shure. Oh my god, we should so do it.
Yeah, I mean that's
okay. Here we gotta flesh
dream.
it out. We gotta flesh out the idea,
now.
and then we pitch it to Road, and we just be like, in case they're listening right now, we are gonna come up with we're gonna flesh this out. We'll get back to you.
Sure. Yeah. Your people call our people. You want to know where our people are? Here's our people right here. There's our people. He's busy.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Germany. That'd be awesome. What's up, Sean? Let's see. Just ordered a copy of that Passion Economy. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm finally making progress in it too.
So good, you guys. Look, you're gonna get so sick of me talking about the Passion Economy. I'm all about it.
The books I'm reading right now.
About it.
I'm jumping between 3 books, and I like that dance. And I can't tell if they're like all one book. It's the Passion Economy, another book called Laziness Does Not Exist, and another book called Effortless.
Yeah.
And they're all like very interconnected.
Is that the horn hit from the Beastie Boys Intergalactic?
No, it's from Super Disco. No, yes, Super Disco Breakin'.
Listening to you guys talk about your differences is basically me, ADHD, and my wife, anxiety. That's literally us.
Yeah. Oh,
ADHD, anxiety.
Hi, I'm anxiety.
Yeah. And that's why it's like, I think we've done a really good job of understanding, because I cut him off all the time, but he knows, like, okay, either write it down, Heather, or, if she doesn't say it, she'll lose it. Oh, there, we got a new member.
Hey!
That's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, let's see. Membership members can also help bounce ideas off of your closest followers.
Yeah, well, it's cool because when you're doing a live it's when you're doing a live stream, it's really fun to have like lots of people there and people coming in and out. But if you're trying to like almost follow a discussion like we're doing now, you can't really do that with hundreds of people because people are gonna get left out or like annoyed. You have to have moderators. But when you have like your small members, when you have your membership group and then the number of those people who are actually in the stream, it's so much easier to actually have like a discussion and stuff.
The thing I sent you is one of the subscriber thank you gifts from a channel sponsorships.
Oh, nice. It's a great, yeah, all of your stuff, your branding, your merch, it's all very on point.
I can't wait for it to come to life, Rob. It's gonna happen. Ron says he'll text Ryan from Road to see if he's up.
He's the one, the videos I've seen of their factory, he's the one giving the tours. And I'm like, oh, he's like standing up outside. It's so different.
I know you use Ecamm. Do you use Restream or StreamYard? So clearly you weren't here at the beginning. We use StreamYard to multi-stream to Facebook and YouTube.
We had a glitch today.
And we stream at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but Tom did not select Restream in Ecamm. So our first 15 minutes got delayed and we had to start over.
Yep.
But that's okay. But anyway, we do use Restream to multi-stream. And we use Ecamm to stream. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
We used to use StreamYard, but
super sticker. Pair character bowing down saying thank you.
Thanks you're welcome. Thank you. Not you're welcome.
Thank you for the super sticker. That's awesome.
Cool. Alrighty. So
okay, what else?
Let's talk about your podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Why did you want to do a pod? Like, what is it? Tell us about it.
Okay. So I think this is what I was talking about when the stream went down.
You don't have to go in like the whole backstory, but I mean, like,
yeah. But basically, if you have been following me for a while, you'll know that my interview, my idea for having an interview series has been a long time in the making, and I'm so excited to be able to find the angle to, create a platform about the passion economy. There are platforms talking about the passion economy, but they're all in the startup space because it's all the companies who are trying to create tools for the creators in the passion economy to use to help them, make a living doing what they love. There isn't a platform for people who are creators, who are aspiring creators, and that's what I want to create. And I actually, it's so exciting. This is kind of what I was saying in that video. It's exciting to find something that I feel like I could uniquely solve. It's like, oh, no one else is doing this. It's like, I feel like there's a need for it. And I'm so excited to be, kind of like a pioneer in this space. So the podcast is called From 1 to 100. And it's all about helping you, the creator, build your community from 1, which is you, to 100. And that's focusing on the 100 true fans versus the 1,000 true fans, or many more fans than that. Because using the passion economy business model, you're focusing on the depth of a community and not the volume.
Not the breadth.
We're going to start by highlighting stories of people who are seeing success using the passion economy business model. So I specifically want to focus on channels that have sub 10,000 subscribers, just to hit the point home that like you don't need, you don't need these crazy numbers of subscribers that we are used to seeing in order to make a living doing what you love using YouTube. And that's because all these tools exist. Like, some of the people that I threw out invites to are using things like Mighty Networks for an online community. They're using Podia and Teachable to have an online course, all these other tools that are out there to help us create something that is really customized for a specific audience, which you can charge more than just $5 channel membership or, $25 t-shirt. We could charge a lot more than that.
Right.
Because there's a reciprocation. I can keep going. There's a reciprocation. So this is why I wanted to start a podcast, because it was like,
there's a lot to go.
Yeah, it's not like, I can do 5-minute tutorial, 10-minute tutorial. This is like, we need to talk about these things in depth. And I don't know if anyone...
From 1 to 100podcast.com.
Yeah. It's going to be a live stream podcast over at my tutorial channel. It's kicking off on May 25th, Tuesday, May
The live version. But there's 2 episodes up already.
There's 2 audio episodes up. Mm-hmm. If you want to go check it out.
Everyone in here is saying the Heathercast.
Yeah.
Heathercast.
The Heathercast.
And speaking of podcasts,
next is going to be the Scottcast.
And then you can join Josh, and it can be the Josh Scott Scottcast. Scottcast.
Scottcast.
And Ordinary Filmmaker, what is up? Hi, guys. Just dropping in to say hi. Lighting looks great.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
I feel like there's a weird...
I'm still learning the Sony camera.
I don't think it's the camera. I think it's the angle of this desk because it looks like everything's slanted, but that's because...
it's not even. Yeah,
I'm
it's
confused.
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm still figuring it out. And then there's a weird thing where the screen on the Sony camera is... it's like slightly warmer than what I'm actually seeing, so it's a little trickier. And then going into the camera settings... which I'm just learning Sony stuff. You can change the color temperature of the viewfinder, but you can't change the color temperature of the screen. I'm like, who cares about this? Like, anyway, there's a way around that.
Link.
I'd love to know.
Here's the link.
Look at that. Heather's going to type the link.
It is from 1 to 100 podcast. You guys, do you know how proud I am of that freaking name? From 1 to 100? Adorable.
That's like Rob and DisneyBlog.com.
Are you kidding? From 1 to 100. You guys have to listen to my intro. I'm so excited about it. I mashed 2 songs together to make it like, oh, we're at 1, and then the like beat of the other song is like
drops.
Yeah.
I was in the car listening to the first episode, and I was backing out of the driveway, and I heard it start, and I audibly went, oh, because it sounds good. It's like, am I listening to NPR?
I know.
Ron said, bug it up, bug it up, bug it up. And Simon, I love the exposure of the Sonys. I always use my iPad to help me line things up. I have the grid, but I just move things around right before the thing. And what I didn't realize is I have custom buttons set to do like, hey, you can do the rule of thirds grid and all that, but using a custom shooting mode, those buttons go away. And I didn't know that. And yeah, it's a whole learning.
Well, okay, so let's keep talking about some ideas. Do you have ideas that you've tabled?
I have an idea for a second course.
Oh, great.
Yeah, which I'm actually super excited about, and I think it'll be so much
Well, let me ask you this.
more manageable than the first one.
Do you have ideas that you considered, but then they just fizzled?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And why? What were they and why did they fizzle?
I mean, I can tell you, like, just starting my channel, the original idea was almost what you're doing.
No, like as a business. Like, now that you're a full-time creator, I mean.
Honestly, not really. I did have an idea to try to like really flesh out my website more and like post articles.
Oh, wow.
Like written stuff to make it like a reason
like
to go to the website.
And stuff.
Yeah, and so it's like, hey, I didn't
know this.
If I did a video about the Hollyland Mars wireless thing,
I've been down this road.
Yeah, now I can go. I used to do this when I just started. When I would write out longer scripts to my videos, I would just sort of post those as blog posts.
Did you guys know that Tom was the founder of like the original Aquabats forum or something back? Fan
forum, not the official one. I did make the emojis I did make some emojis.
But you built the message board like back in the day for the fan, like the official fan.
Powered by V Bulletin. It was.
It's adorable. It's so adorable to me.
I think it was the Aquabats.net.
You're so cute.
Yeah, I had the domain and everything. Yeah.
What a dork.
You could go on archive.org and look it up.
Anyway, so I'm commenting on it because I can imagine you doing some like a blog kind of
thing.
I
wanted to do that where it's like, hey, we can explore these things more in depth.
So why'd you kill the idea?
Just felt like, you know what? Just if you can spend your day right now like going on a bike ride, coming home, then working on a video, then like taking care of emails and that kind of stuff, and then planning out more stuff and editing a thing, and that's what you need to do for the day, and then hanging out with you, and then walking the dogs. Like right now I don't really need to throw anything else into that. So
here's another idea that we've been thinking about, which is not one that we're killing, but we're tabling it until
couples tabling it.
We're tabling it, but one of the things that I think that Tom and I can really offer that isn't that is a very like signature thing that only we can offer is doing like a talk.
Oh,
like a speaking talk.
This was an idea that was brought up to us, and then we both loved it.
Yeah. Because I think like not only can we, of course, we can approach it from like I have done talks. I've been a speaker, and so has he. But I think we really bring something to the table being a couple that's a full-time, that is both doing content creation full-time. And like I'm approaching it with the passion economy business model. He's approaching it with the creator economy business model. It's like two sides of the same coin, and we're both making a living doing what we love. And I just think that I don't know what the talk would be.
It's almost just like, I mean, I guess we don't need to go into our brainstorming stuff, but it's also like you have a background. We both have backgrounds in education. Obviously, like mine's a little more in depth, but you have a big background in nonprofits and local business and that kind of stuff.
Marketing,
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of there's just so much interesting stuff happening right now. And this was something that sounded fun to us, but then it was actually someone we were approaching about like a different thing we were working on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'd love to have you like, just at least, know if you're available or interested in participating in this kind of stuff." And we immediately were like, "That would be so fun."
Yeah, and when you're trying to break into the world of like speaking, right? Like being a paid professional speaker, a lot of the times it isn't just like, "Oh, that person is an expert in this. Let's just have them talk." It's like you have a slate of talks, and then you basically you have a website that kind of summarizes what your talk is. So it's like people are buying that package so that they can offer it to
it's
the
like
attendees
how a band will
event.
play the same set on tour, like in different cities.
Yeah, exactly. You take your talk on tour.
Yeah.
And so, we would have to know like what we're going to be talking about in advance, and we'd have to flesh that out. But I just think like I'm just imagining it, Tom. I'm imagining it. We've got multimedia, we've got sound, we've got video, we've got choreography. It's gonna be a whole experience.
Ron's running the mixer, Patrick's breakdancing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and I actually thought about this. I've thought about this for a very long time, but I really started to think about this because VidCon is actually going to be in person this year.
In October,
which
right?
I don't know if we're going to go to.
I'm not sure how
we're
I feel
still
about
on the
that.
fence, yeah. But they were soliciting for speakers, and I was like, oh my God, this could be it. Like, this could be the thing where we just, I don't know, put something together for them. But anyway.
That would be fun. That's another thing.
So we're tabling that.
Speaking of talks, we do have a call appointment in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to check in here a little bit. Josh, can we appreciate how good that blue wall looks? Yes. I do really like the way the Sony cameras process blues and greens. They're really nice. Obviously, he's afraid to ask what an Aquabat is, but it's okay. I saw that Ron answered that question later. Michael said he did it in reverse, got the site going and established, and now trying to get the channel to that level. I think that's probably a common route.
We would have done it.
Yeah. And Murray said it's always considered building an After Effects course and have 6 hours of content so far. Just nervous if it's going to perform. What have you found with yours? Are you making what you expect?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so far, mine's doing great. The asterisk is like it launched this month, so it's still new. So it'll be interesting over the next like month or two to see it like what the steady rate of performance is, especially because like I did take some of like the best practices like Heather was showing me and stuff, but I also eventually just hit a point where I was like, I'm just gonna do it this way because there's certain things I didn't want to do. And so I'm interested to see like, does that work? And if it does, then awesome. And if it doesn't, then I'd need to go back and like rebuild some stuff. So far, so good. I built mine on Podia because that's something Heather had used, and it's very easy to organize all that stuff. Not easy to put the course together, but once you have it, it's very easy to put it up. And people can access it easily and stuff.
Do you guys have a video explaining the reason for switching from StreamYard to Restream? I just started one and spend a lot of time trying to figure out the best option.
We don't have a video, but it was more a switch from StreamYard to Ecamm.
Yeah.
And then Restream is a supplemental.
That Restream only became a thing in the past month, I think.
Yeah.
Because we didn't care to multi-stream. We were just streaming to YouTube, so there was no need for Restream. I don't even think when we were using StreamYard, we were multi-streaming. Mm-mm. We were just streaming to YouTube. So when we were looking to upgrade, we weren't looking for a multi-streaming feature.
Yeah.
But now I'm very curious about Facebook video and their developments. And so he doesn't even care. It's more of like, for me, I'm like, because it's going to my page, facebook.com/HeatherJustCreate. Obviously, he doesn't care because he picked YouTube to stream today. Anyway, let's see. TED Talk, Tom Talk. with choreography.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And there we go. And Ron's clearing up. Ron's tech support. Ecamm can't natively send to StreamYard. Personally, I found its cloud-side encoding a lot worse than doing local Ecamm. Yeah, Ecamm just is more... StreamYard, the simplicity of it is awesome. Ecamm, way more feature-rich. And once you get into like StreamYard's 1080 plan versus Ecamm's plan, they're fairly equal in price. But yeah, StreamYard will take a lot of the processing load off of your computer. Ecamm puts it on your computer. Whether that's good or bad just depends on your setup. So yeah. There we go. That kind of brings us there. This is probably where we should pause everything so I can swap out some batteries before.
Yeah. So the one thing is, I think you're gonna be my first guest
on the live stream version of From 1 to 100.
Yeah, I think we're actually gonna do it on Tuesday, May 25th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fine with me. Should I check my calendar? Oh, look at that.
Because I got a response from my...
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
They can't do the 25th.
There we go. And can. Finley has a vet appointment on the 24th.
Yeah. All right, guys. So...
it's time to clear the table.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Tune in to our anniversary episode of the Couples Table. We have some really exciting things planned.
Yeah, that'll be next Thursday at the normal time. But also before that, at some point next week,
Monday,
we'll be
Tuesday,
streaming
or Wednesday.
From Vegas live.
I want to say Monday.
That's the day we get there?
Yeah.
Depends on
that evening.
Like there.
Sunset.
Yeah. Just keep posted.
Yeah.
Hit that bell, right?
Hit the bell.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for everyone who signed up for memberships. That's cool. And we'll see you guys later. So stay safe. Have fun. Thanks for being here.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Take care.